The only time Black Lives Matter is when Black lives are taken. And that's so disheartening and so sad. Yeah, but basically, white America, we're tired. We're tired. We're tired. Assalamu alaikum everybody, and welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Sodatu, aka Bint Fatima. If you're new here, hi, hello, thank you for clicking on this video, and if you're coming back, thank you for subscribing. So today's video is a little different for two reasons. Number one, I'm on my period, so I'm tired, but inshallah I'm gonna film because it's so beautiful and sunny outside and I have to take advantage of this light. Plus tomorrow's Friday, so if I don't film today, there ain't gonna be no video. And number two, it's a little different just because I feel like I'm gonna be just like talking and just letting my thoughts take me where they take me. In recent news, so on Instagram, I believe Tuesday night, I don't know, my days have been mixing into each other, but Tuesday night I was made aware of the situation with Ahmaud Arbery. And if you're not aware of that situation, I'll try to make sure to link articles or links down below. I will avoid posting any like videos of any violent acts just because I'll discuss that later in this video, but if you want more information on that, if you haven't heard about it, I will be leaving links in the description box down below, inshallah, so that way you can read up on it and just be informed. But basically, in February of this year, a young man who was 25 was jogging in a neighborhood or running in a neighborhood and was murdered by two white men. And the story has been twisted around and around, and the DA who was in charge of the case, there was a conflict of interest because one of the murderers used to be a cop or something like that. So the case has been moved from one DA to the other, from one county to the next. But basically since February, now it's May. So basically like 3 months, nothing has been done. The reason why I want to make this video is because I want to just address a lot of things that have been kind of going through my mind this past week. I believe it was Monday evening around like 7 or something. I had went outside to take a walk because I've been a homebody since quarantine, and I used to like, you know, move around a little bit and do some exercising or dancing in my room, but I hadn't done that in a while. I decided, okay, it's nice outside and the weather is clearing up and it's not as cold or windy or rainy, so I'm gonna start taking walks. Sunday I had to go somewhere with my dad, so Sunday I didn't take a walk, so then I was like, okay, Monday I definitely have to take a walk. So Monday evening I go outside, I record for like a couple of seconds just to put into my vlog, and then I'm walking. So as I was walking on the sidewalk in my neighborhood, and you know how sidewalks are, they're not that wide, I saw a white man walking this way towards me with his dog, and his dog wasn't like huge, but it wasn't small either. It was probably up to like my knees, and I don't know what kind of dog it was. I wasn't really paying attention. And side note, I'm actually like a huge dog lover. I love dogs. They make me so happy. They fill me with joy. But I do have some trepidations when I see white people with dogs, and I'll explain that in a second. I was walking and I see him walking with his dog, and the leash that he has isn't that long. It's pretty like medium length, I don't know. And so I was like, okay, cool. The dog sees me, it's whatever. He's not barking or doing anything. He's not gonna do anything to me. So I kind of moved to the furthest right side of the sidewalk without getting on the grass. And also the coronavirus, y'all, I was trying to keep 6 feet apart because we ain't trying to catch nothing. But anyway, so I moved to the furthest side, and he walks past, and his dog is like starting to like I guess try to like get closer to me, and then he was just like, oh no, and he barely like shortens the leash. And after I walk past the dog, like I walk past him and his dog just a little bit, and now the dog is behind me, his dog like puts his nose directly under my butt, like right on my thigh, right? And for a second I felt a piercing, and I swear to God I thought I got bitten, because I was just like, how is it that an animal just touched me with their nose and I feel a piercing through my dress? And my dress wasn't a thin dress, it was a thick dress. It was thick enough that it had a layer and then another layer. So for me to feel a piercing when the dog touched my leg, whatever happened, I couldn't see, it was behind me, something must have happened, right? And so I remember I went, ah, like I made a really weird sound, but I wasn't laughing, like I was uncomfortable and I made a really weird sound. And at this point, I turned around to look because it's just like, I'm wondering what the heck the owner is doing. And he's just like giggling. He's like, oh, he doesn't mean any harm. But he just, anyway, okay, so let's say the dog didn't open his mouth and bite me, but as soon as they walked away, I wasn't very far from my apartment. Like I was in my neighborhood, so I felt weird like turning around and going back home when I literally just left the house like 15 seconds ago or 20 seconds ago, whatever it may be. So I touched the back of my dress just to see if it was wet, and I'm guessing maybe the dog's nose was wet or something, because I did feel a little bit of cold. And I was very upset in that moment, like extremely upset, but I didn't know what it was I was supposed to do. The guy was gone. I didn't really catch his face. I didn't know which direction he went in because I was walking away from him. And so I kept walking and I was very upset, but you know, it's Ramadan, I was fasting. I was trying my best to like see the silver lining in a situation that felt really weird and awkward. And then as I was walking, I realized like I wasn't upset because the dog touched me. Like I've pet dogs, I've had dogs lick me. I'm not disgusted by dogs, or I'm not upset by a dog getting close to me. I think what upset me was that even though I seemed uncomfortable, unsure of what the heck it was the dog was doing behind my back, the owner was just giggling. And I think that's what made me upset, was his reaction to my discomfort. So anyway, I kept walking and I was like, all right, don't make this a big deal. And recently I've been watching a Ramadan series by Sheikh Ahmaud, and he talks about like the angels and their presence in your life and how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives angels to you to protect you and guard you. And so I kept trying to remember that like, okay, maybe the dog didn't bite me, because if the dog did bite me, I think I would have felt maybe a break in skin or something like that. But I did feel a sharp piercing, and it kind of felt like a sting of a bee or something like that. And I'm still not sure what it was. But anyway, so I kept walking, try to remind myself, like, you know, you're fasting. At the end of the day, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent angels to you to protect you, and when anything happens, it was by the decree of Allah. And I was just trying to go through all these things in my head as I was walking to calm myself down, because I didn't want to be crying in the middle of my neighborhood as I'm taking a walk. Anyway, so I kept walking, I made a U-turn, came back to my house. And when I got to like the dog park around my house, there were no dogs, there were no people. But as I was turning the corner, there was a white woman with her dog. And I don't even know if I'm gonna put this in the video, but anyway, she had her dog and they were pretty far from me, but the dog just sat there and stared at me. And the woman sat there as well and was just like staring at me as if I'm like a specimen. Anyway, I'll get into why all of that matters. So I come into the house and I have a body length mirror. I think that's what they're called. And I take all my clothes off and I take my camera, my phone camera, and I try to take a picture of the back of my leg or the back of my thigh, like where I felt the dog had bitten me, touched me, whatever. Luckily, I didn't see any break in skin. I didn't see any blood. I didn't see anything, but there was a bump. So what I'm assuming happened, and I'm not 100% sure, is that maybe there was like a bug or a mosquito or something up my skirt. Maybe it was about to bite me, I don't know, and the dog pushed it into my skin. I don't know, I'm speculating here. Or maybe the dog had whiskers, which I thought only cats did, but anyway. And I started crying, and the reason why I was crying was because all I could think to myself is like, even if something had happened, even if the dog had bitten me and I did get a break in my skin or I was bleeding, what was it that I could do? I'm a visibly Muslim woman, and he's a white man. All he's gonna say is my dog was harmless, just like he said when I was like making a weird sound and visibly uncomfortable. Oh, my dog, he's harmless. So I think that really hurt me, because I was just like, even if I were to try to like, I don't know what would I do in that situation, file a report or go to the leasing office and try to figure out who this man is. Like, not that anybody wouldn't believe me, but maybe they just think I'm overreacting, or maybe nothing would happen even if I were to go to the hospital, even if something bad were to happen. And so I think that night I just tried to work through my emotions, figure out what it was I was feeling, why I was so upset. So that night, and I like to talk to myself a lot, so that night I was sitting talking to myself, because Tuesday morning my friend Fama and I were supposed to have like a Instagram live video, and I was thinking I might bring up that topic. So I was talking to myself to prepare for how I would share the story, and it went back to that same thing of like, it's just about the power structure that exists in the United States, where as a Black woman, I know that if anything a white person does towards me, against me, whatever, I can't guarantee that they will be held accountable for their actions. So even the white woman that I was bringing up that was just staring at me, even while I was starting this video, I just have this pattern of my neighbors consistently or constantly just like invading my privacy. And I guess you could like be like, oh, so does you just close your blinds, like it's not that deep, just put your windows down, put your blinds down, it's not that deep, no one would be staring at you if your windows were wide open. But we're in quarantine. The only access outside that I have, aside from the walks that I take every now and then when I'm feeling okay to take a walk, is my window. So I'm gonna open my window. I have the right to my privacy. And there are places where I can sit in my room where no one can see me from outside. But then there are times where like I literally just see people just like staring into my window. And I've had Black neighbors come around and play in like the vicinity of my window, but they're never looking into my window. So then it doesn't make sense to me why I have white neighbors left, right, and center just like surveillancing me, I guess. Like, am I that interesting? Am I a specimen to be watched? Like, it's me sitting on my computer watching a YouTube video fascinating to you? I want to know. I want to understand. I shared that story because I feel like for non-Black people, unless, and I'm taking this directly from an Instagram post, going back to the murder of Ahmaud Arbery, he was saying that like the circulation of the video of Ahmaud being killed, which I think a lot of people were sharing, he was saying that like it didn't make sense to him that it's almost like for non-Black people, they have to witness the killing of Black people, the murder of Black people, in order for them to even remember that we're human. And that really hit me, because like that's literally how it goes. The only time Black lives matter is when Black lives are taken. And that's so disheartening and so sad. Like, I can remember in some kind of a gathering somewhere with non-Black people, I was explaining to them the fear that I feel, or like the anxiety that I feel when my brother goes out at night to grab a snack from 7-Eleven, which is like 5 minutes down the street, and he's not back within 15 minutes. And that happened before. And when he came home, he was like, yeah, I got pulled over by the cops. And I can't explain the fear that comes with that. And I can't explain the exhaustion and the dehumanization that comes with that feeling. Racism is not, it's not this thing that kind of exists in a bubble, that it only happens when Black men and women are killed unjustly. It only happens when Black men and women are abused. Like, for example, how in China, Black people are being treated during this coronavirus. Like, that's not the limit of the extent of racism, especially specifically in the United States. And I know I don't have a lot of knowledge, but I think I've taken enough classes, history classes, Africana studies classes, to know the history of Black people, the general history, maybe not the specifics. But racism doesn't exist in this vacuum. It impacts every aspect of our lives. It impacts every aspect of Black people's lives. It impacts how I feel when like I said, when I see a white person with a dog, because if your dog were to harm me, which I don't think dogs are inherently harmful, but if your dog were to harm me for whatever reason, nothing would be done because you're white. You're above the law. You have all the power. And at this point, I'm just exhausted. I'm feeling this like tiredness, and I'm trying to balance between being aware of what's going on in the world, being aware of the injustices that are committed against Black people, and also taking care of my mental, emotional, physical well-being, because it takes a toll emotionally, mentally, physically, to see how inhumane people can be towards your people. Yeah, and that's just how I'm feeling, and I just thought I would make this video to just talk about that. And even that story that I shared about the dog and the man is just to show you how microaggressions happen every day, how the system of power impacts every aspect of our lives. There's just so many things, like the criminal justice system, jobs, housing, our daily interaction with people. It's impacted simply by the color of our skin. And I think at this point, I've gotten to a point where, like, with allyship, I just want everybody who claims to be an ally to bring that same energy, not only when we're killed, not only when we're murdered, not only when our loved ones have to sit and return the humanity to us. I was watching an interview with Sean King and Ahmaud's mother. It's just unsettling to see that even the people who lose someone that they love have to convince the world of their loved one's humanity. Yeah, so that is all I have for today. This is not my usual video. Like I said, I'm just speaking from the heart. Yeah, but basically, white America, we're tired. We're tired. We're tired. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more content like this, please let me know in the comment section down below. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. And inshallah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Assalamu alaikum. Peace and love. Bye bye.